Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Ripple has put out a new document which highlights, among other things, that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission is litigation happy. Yes, indeed, they sue more than almost any other regulators in other major jurisdictions. And it is my humble opinion that it's disgusting and they should quit regulating by enforcement and maybe provide some regulatory clarity. Instead, you know what they're doing? They're just regulating by enforcement. So they're just throwing these things out there. They're throwing these lawsuits like, and you get a lawsuit, and you get a lawsuit. Oh, and you over there, I'm not forgetting about you. You get a lawsuit. Everybody gets a lawsuit. It's like Oprah handing out free cars to every guest on her show back when she had her show. Does she have a show still? I don't know. She's known for giving out everything. For free. So that's kind of what the SEC is doing, except for it's really, really bad. So I'm going to be running through this. It's a Ripple Insights piece, actually. I do want to be clear first, though, that I don't have any sort of legal or financial background, and I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos purely as a hobby. There's nothing special about me. And that is all that it is, just to be super duper clear. Now, at this point, I'm sure many of you, probably the strong majority of you, are aware of the Relist XRP campaign, which I made a video about. And even though I did share in a previous video, I went into great detail as to why I don't think that it's going to result in the short term in cryptocurrencies relisting XRP. I love the campaign. I love to see the XRP community come together. And I wanted to highlight the degree to which the community is coming together. And so I went on Twitter and I just typed in hashtag Relist XRP just to see what popped up. And it's just endless. There's no way you could ever see everything that's here. But I stopped scrolling at this one because, and this is from 15 hours ago, mind you, and still the numbers are what they were at the point. This comes from Crypto Bull 2020, and you can see this. Relist XRP is trending in the United States. Then you take Coinbase. And here you can see in this little screen grab, trending in United States, hashtag Relist XRP, 29,700 tweets. And that was 15 freaking hours ago as I record this. So that is astonishing. So you can just go through, it's just endless number of XRP community members. We're all on the same page in what we want. And I do think it's important to have the voice heard. So even if in the short term this doesn't get some sort of material impact, and I'm skeptical of anything actually changing in the short term, even if I'm right about that, this is still amazing to see the community come together like this and still have the voice heard. Like, this is still going to impact the perception of all sorts of people in important places, period. So I still like seeing all of this. Now, Stuart Alderodi, he tweeted out the following. By the way, before I even read his tweet, he is general counsel at Ripple, over 30 years of legal experience with expertise in banking, regulatory affairs, and complex litigation. And he wrote the following. Regulations are supposed to provide clarity and predictability. Regulation by enforcement does the opposite. Thanks, Professor Guseva, if I'm saying that right, probably not though, for your keen insights, which leads us to this Ripple Insights piece. UBRI on campus, Rutgers Law School looks to reform fintech regulation. And the information within this, it's probably not necessarily going to surprise you, but it's facts that I was unaware of, and it's just a shame. You can just clearly see how the SEC, the way that they're performing relative to other regulators in other major jurisdictions, they are the outlier. And it's resulting in just disgusting decisions. Anyway, piece begins. When compared to the rest of the world, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, appears to have a higher rate of intervention in blockchain-related cases. In just the last 18 months, the U.S. regulator ordered Telegram to stop selling its cryptocurrency, fined Kick Interactive $5 million over issues with its Kin token, and is currently suing Ripple. Recent research by Yulia Guseva, whose name I'm highly confident that is not how it's appropriately said, but I'll just do my best here, guys. Cut me some slack, damn it. Anyway, recent research by Yulia Guseva of Rutgers Law School and her colleague Douglas S. Eakley, co-director of the Rutgers Center for Corporate Law and Governance, and Alan V. Lowenstein, professor of corporate and business law, confirms that the SEC, quote, brings more enforcement actions against digital asset issuers, the broker-dealers, exchanges, and other crypto market participants than do regulators in most other major jurisdictions combined, end quote. Did you hear that word at the end, combined? Thanks for nothing, SEC. Anyway, let's see. So what do you do when you have no idea what the hell you're doing? Just sue everybody and you get a lawsuit and you get a lawsuit. Oh, you over there? Oh my gosh, you definitely got a lawsuit. Professor Guseva acknowledges that the size of the U.S. cryptocurrency market is a contributing factor to the SEC's high rate of intervention. However, she believes the other key factor may be the use of the Howey test for determining whether a transaction should be classified as an investment contract and therefore registered as a security. The broad scope of the test has allowed the SEC to extend its authority over the past 70 years to a wide range of financial instruments, which today also include digital assets. Professor Guseva cautions that, unfortunately, there may be enforcement inconsistencies that highlight how a Supreme Court ruling from 1946 may be unsuitable for judging 21st century innovations. Well, how about that? I've been saying this for years on this channel. Oh my gosh. It really burns my biscuits. The idea that a cryptocurrency, which, a little more than 12 years ago didn't exist, period. The idea that a cryptocurrency that can go from centralized to decentralized and vice versa, which also means that you can have something go from a security to a non-security and vice versa. The fact that that can exist, it absolutely was not accounted for in 1946. They never could have envisioned every technological development we have. Can you imagine showing these people from 1946 an iPhone? Be like, here, this has the sum of all human knowledge right here. Just type in a question and you can find the answer. It's got the sum of all human knowledge right here at any moment in time. Man, we're spoiled, aren't we? It's true, though. You effectively do. Other than, secretive information that you're not allowed to pull up, whatever. But whatever that may be. You get the cut of my jib here, though. You got that. You've got the internet, blockchain technology. Try and explain cryptocurrency to somebody from 1946. It's going to take a hot minute. So the idea that you can just shoehorn this technology into what came from a Supreme Court ruling in 1946, it's absurd on its face. It absolutely is, because there's no way that can account for something becoming a security and then a non-security and then a security again. It doesn't exist. It's too messy. It's not happening. And so that's why the SEC should have acted. But anyway, in a recent paper, Guseva emphasizes that the SEC seems to have departed from its previously clear policy of prosecuting crypto fraud and protecting investors. Kik, Telegram, and Ripple are important examples of this departure. And here's a quote. I am worried about the dynamic inconsistencies in the SEC enforcement actions. Together with the broad reach of the Howey test, the inconsistencies in enforcement may exacerbate uncertainty and fail to provide market participants with a clear ex ante understanding of the securities laws, end quote. And then the piece continues. Market actors need to understand what is expected of them and how to effectively comply with regulations. In fact, markets prefer predictability and certainty, while inconsistencies and unclear rules risk forcing United States companies to relocate their businesses to other countries and may profoundly affect the direction of financial innovation. And by the way, we're already seeing that happen. Not en masse necessarily, but it's happening in a way that's been notable. I've highlighted it on the channel as stories have come up over the last couple years. But anyway, in contrast to the U.S., the lack of regulatory clarity and the focus on enforcement are not the same, are not the case in other countries. Some foreign regulatory bodies provide more guidance to digital asset markets. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority, for instance, classifies digital assets based on their functions and utility and relies more on upfront guidance and clear prospective rules than retrospective enforcement. Excuse me. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. Of the 23 major financial market jurisdictions that Professor Guseva researched for her paper, 9 had yet to take any form of enforcement action against crypto-related companies, and the remaining jurisdictions in the sample resorted to more lenient enforcement actions compared with those initiated by the SEC. It is possible that some foreign jurisdictions adopted this approach as a deliberate strategy, appealing to fintech startups looking for a more welcoming environment. Exactly, which is why don't be surprised if this actually doesn't go the way we think and hope that it will. Ripple wouldn't be staying in the United States ultimately. And so can you just imagine if regulators were acting like this during the advent of the internet? Because all of the technological advancements that we have, you can think about, whether it's, from Uber to Google or just pick whatever, all of that would have still been developed, just not in the United States. And it's just amazing that the SEC seems to not they just don't give a damn. They really do not care one iota. And that's what's troubling to me. That's a huge part of what's troubling to me anyway. It's just the lack of concern about how you're impacting people on top of that. Like there are real people underlying everything that's occurring here. And it's just so cold the way that they're acting, and they're so unconcerned, and it doesn't matter. And on top of that, just see how disingenuous they are with the arguments they make from a legal perspective and from a logical perspective. It's gross to me. It's absolutely disgusting, and I just despise it. Right? So, look, in the end, I still am cautiously optimistic that this is going to work out, because again, I firmly believe that Ripple is on the right side of the law. And if they're not, you can say goodbye to every altcoin on the planet in the United States, effectively. I mean, I don't know if that sounds like too much to some of you, but if XRP today is a security, then what isn't? Because look, pretty much every crypto on the planet, to some degree or another, is being used in part as a fundraising mechanism. So if that's the test, buy altcoins. See that, and that's not what other markets do, and that's why I say I don't think I'm going too far with that. Hopefully things would happen to prevent that coming to fruition. But if this doesn't go well for Ripple and XRP, why should we be optimistic that someone's going to stop in after Ripple and XRP have been destroyed? Like what would that be and why? So we'll see here. But again, 23 major financial market jurisdictions that they covered here. And 9 hadn't taken any form of enforcement action against crypto-related companies, and the rest were more lenient. And so think about this: even if the SEC feels like they should come after Ripple and XRP, and they do, why aren't they being more lenient? Because effectively, what they've been going for, at least with the last administration, with that asshat Jay Clayton, there was no opportunity for settlement. And that's because had Ripple agreed to whatever they were going for, even without knowing specifically what it is, because we do know that part of it would have had to do with the Ripple selling of XRP. The SEC knows that would destroy Ripple the company, because that's core to their business plan today. Wouldn't necessarily be in the future, but it certainly is right now. And they could have been more lenient, understanding that this was just messy. If you want to have this innovation happen here, you need to be understanding that there hasn't been clarity. It's not all the fault of innovators who are just seeking to create better technology and create jobs and an opportunity. You don't have to take a hammer to all this stuff, but all these asshats are behaving as if it's the end of the world and they just want to smash everything. And I hate it. It's nonsense. It's not an adult way of looking at the world. And on top of that, like I said a moment ago, it's disingenuous and logically reprehensible. So what is one supposed to surmise from all this? So anyway, I just wanted to point this out because I'm glad Ripple highlighted this, and I'd say for good reason here. The SEC's in the wrong, and I do believe that I'll say this too, and I'll wrap up, but even if Ripple is found to be guilty of anything, meaning the SEC on a technical basis wins their suit against, if the SEC wins their suit against Ripple, doesn't mean that they win so long as XRP today is not declared a security in and of itself, and as long as Ripple still has a path forward for getting their XRP, which is an escrow, out into the wild, as long as they can sell it and continue to utilize it as a funding mechanism, which they've been transparent about for almost an entire decade now, for as long as they've existed. So let me know what you think below. I do love hearing your comments, but I will wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.